Happy Pentecost Sunday, and we are celebrating the power of the Spirit in the church today. Of course, talking about environment, we're just talking about the work of creation. In the book of Genesis, we get the story of creation, and of course, it's two part of creation stories in the book of Genesis, which has also informed a lot about speaking about Laudato Si or even environmental care. So, being a priest again is of course my core duty, my mandate to implement and to stand for what the church teaches. What the church teaches is both in the Catholic social teachings, it's also in the Bible, it's also in the tradition of the church, it is also in the magisterium teachings of the church. And so, like I mentioned, when I was appointed as Integral Human Development Coordinator, of course, integral ecology came directly to my doctorate. And even outside now the background of having being a priest who is implementing the social teachings of the church, and I took specifically what the Holy Father promulgated from the year 2015 on Laudato Si. And Laudato Si is praise be, of course, this very biblical, quoted from the Psalms, but he quotes a lot from the book of Genesis on the care for the creation. And of course, he uses the word mother heart, relating the heart to be our mother, because the heart now supplies food that now sustains our lives. And of course, when we speak about the integral ecology now, from the church point of view, or even from whatever view, is that no one of us now can keep himself aloof from what is happening around our environment. You all know that most of the African families come from peasant families, farming. They do peasant farming, so which means most of the families sustain themselves by just hand to mouth, what they get from their farms to their families. So if that is distracted, you can imagine if floods happens to small farms that our people have. You can be sure really that here people will be starving of lack of food. And so it interests me that if really we don't align ourselves as a church, and very strongly, because the church has very powerful structures to address the issues of climate changes, and especially to create awareness, then you can bet with me that really most of the majority of Africans will suffer, and they really even continue suffering now, because some areas are infested by locusts. Sometimes it happened in Kenya like 2 years ago. Floods, we had cyclones in Malawi, we have a long span of drought in some countries within Amecea. So really it is an agenda for Amecea bishops every day to end.
It seems like there's a fine line between the intersection between environmental issues and the integral human development. Sometimes people usually mistake and even call it human integral development, so it can be quite confusing. However, maybe you could also elaborate, how does Laudato Si inform the approach in addressing these kind of issues?
Thank you once again. I think Laudato Si is a very powerful encyclical, a letter from the Holy Father. I can also say, actually from 1890, when the Pope Leo XIII promulgated the first social teaching of the church, the encyclical Rerum Novarum, which was addressing the plight of the workers and also fair wages for the workers. That document was so popular that it brought a lot of revolution within Europe and including America. Equally, Laudato Si is really causing a lot of revolution. I can attest to you, and without fear of any contradiction, that this book is used a lot by the Muslims. I even read their book again, which they refer again to Laudato Si, the Muslim community. They really use Laudato Si a lot. The Protestant community, they really quote encyclical Laudato Si, like they call the Bible too. And the UNEP, they also refer a lot to on Laudato Si. So I want to say that this is a very powerful book and the most popular book maybe in our century to have been promulgated by the church. So of course, integral human development will take a number of issues. But specifically when you talk of environmental issues, that's when we put it under now integral ecology. Now we are speaking about what particular affect our environment, whether it's are we over harvesting like the natural resources. Like I can also just mention that when I was sometime I was asked by the bishops of Amecea to do a standing, and they were interested in the contribution of this document, Laudato Si, within our region for the last 6 or so years that time. And I went around the countries of Amecea, and I started with Malawi, and I saw the highest challenge of environment there is charcoal burning. At one particular time, I drove for 15 kilometers, and I realized most of the lorries or most of the trucks were carrying charcoal, and the good charcoal for that matter. People on bicycles, they are carrying charcoal. On motorbikes, they are carrying charcoal. They are going to sell. So to tell you, they have cut very precious trees, and I can tell you these were indigenous trees. That was an issue that I saw a lot in Malawi as I was seeing how are people aligning themselves with the Laudato Si. And I said, unless the bishops of Malawi now come together and say deforestation is highly happening in their country, and if they don't avert this, then it means the future generations have no rains, because all the trees that attract rains, especially from an indigenous point of view, are already cut. And then also that the people will not have enough food, because still once no rains, then no food. And again, water is also becoming scarce because people are cutting trees, including the points where waters come from, especially from the forest. So really, it is really highly disadvantageous for all of us, especially in this horn of Africa, if we don't come together and address these issues of environmental crisis. So that's my take for now. But of course, bringing a distinction between environmental issues and integral human development, of course, from whatever, from the angle you want to address it, is that environmental issues are really taken care of in integral, when you talk of integral human development, because human beings require environment and a good environment for that matter.
It's actually a sad story when we're speaking about Africa giving it hope. Sometimes Africans are the ones that cause this chaos. Like, for example, when you're mentioning something about charcoal, and I know it's not only there, because I also saw some parts of Garissa where they're heaping parts of coal, of actually the charcoal, which means they've actually harmed the environment. They have cut down trees. Maybe now, regarding these challenges that we faced, going back to Amecea, what are these kind of, or rather, what are the initiatives that have been taken by Amecea through your office to curb, or rather to take action to these challenges?
Quite a very nice question. Just like I mentioned, in the year 2018, when the bishops of Amecea adopted now this encyclical, not that they didn't use it before then, but they said, they want to prioritize the themes of Laudato Si. And so the bishops gave me a mandate. The first one was to carry out a research to look into it, how people are being impacted by this Laudato Si. Are they even aware of the existence of the document? Are they even, whatever they are doing, is it informed by Laudato Si encyclical? And that's why I mentioned that while carrying out the research, I realized, of course, which was a challenge, that most of our people didn't know whether the existence of this Laudato Si. A number of people, including some religious, clergy, lay people who are very Catholic, weren't aware of the existence of this document. And then the other people who are not even Catholic themselves were using Laudato Si in their areas. So the bishops said this, they need really to support this very document because it's very key to our Amecea area. And so that's why now we did that study, which now brought out a number of findings. One of them was that because this Laudato Si is not known, let us create awareness. So now they passed the solutions out of that study that my department, Integral Human Development, should continue raising an awareness, one, to the bishops all the time, to the clergy, to religious men and women, to our lay people, to the Christian communities included. Just like they discussed the Lenten pastoral letters in Kenya, so we also formed some themes. And actually we used the one dissemination. But my mandate now from the Bishops' Assembly of 2022 is to continue disseminating the messages of Laudato Si. And so we did use the document, we did come up with a guideline, Laudato Si guideline from Amecea bishops, which is addressing the 7 goals. One, they say the goal around the care for the mother heart. And the Holy Father now is referring the heart as our mother, just like our African mothers, just like any other mother in the world, is taking care of our children. So the mother heart, it says, if the mother heart is hurt, it means she can't take care of her children. Equally, when a family mother is hurt, she will not breastfeed her children. So they say, it is us, some of the crises that we are seeing is out of human activities. So if we don't contribute in our levels, and our levels could, what we are able to do, some people think it's only mitigation, doing climate mitigation by planting trees. This is not what the Holy Father says only in Laudato Si. There are many other issues that he mentions around green energies, which we need to be cognizant of. Like now, changing from the fossil fuels, coal, gases, and electricity powers, that now we go green. Like now, most of our church facilities, maybe we can say, to align ourselves to Laudato Si, then let us put solar energies. That could be really lesser in reducing the carbon emissions than the other powers. So the bishops adopted this. They also said that we continue being strategic in what is really specific in different conferences. So that if it is that creating awareness, the second one is about continuous education again, maybe putting this in our syllabuses. Possibly our children can learn education curriculum very early, so that at least they are also environmental friendly.